I feel like I want to welcome you to Good Rockin' tonight. Let's start with that handshake and say, welcome, Tyler. Good to see you. Ed, good to see you. Guys, first of all, congratulations on BNL ROCKS RED ROCKS.
Thank you.
I want to get to the mystique of Red Rocks for those that are not familiar with that venue in a second. But I want to say that for me, still to this day, whenever I'm about to listen to a live album and you hear that sort of crowd fade in, when I was a kid, I remember I used to put headphones on, sort of close my eyes and imagine I'm at the show. I have to tell you that when I first heard the very first sort of beginning of this album, I got goosebumps again, and that feeling that I was at a live show. So I'm wondering, do you factor any of that into, before a live record is released, do you have some sort of thing where you can tell, yeah, we are making a good live record right now?
Well, first of all, Stu, goosebumps are one of the early symptoms of musical fandom.
Excellent. Good.
You need,
good.
I suggest you consult some professional help.
I will.
You know, we felt like that last tour, like we were really firing on all cylinders. It was an amazing tour. We had Violent Femmes opening up and Colin Hay from Men at Work. It was a great vibe, and we've been lucky to play Red Rocks a bunch of times over the years, but it's one of those venues that every time you walk in, you go, oh my God, we're playing at Red Rocks.
What is it about that place?
The atmosphere, it's incredible. Well, first of all, from a geological standpoint, it's such that the rocks are so beautiful. The theater has been literally, blasted right into the middle of it. It's incredible. The staff is great. I'm going to mention something else. The catering is always top notch. And you know what they say? The key to a band's heart, or the pathway to a band's heart is through its stomach. So
you get a great show if you feed a band well.
Yes, and they always do there. So, but all of those things combined, and I think everybody plays there. The people of Colorado are very lucky to have such a venue in their backyard, and I think every artist that comes through there puts on a great show because it's such an inspirational building to be in. And
I think, too, is there, like, Barenaked Ladies live, people, if you haven't seen Barenaked Ladies live, people that haven't need to know that it's an experience from start to finish, and it's got everything. It's got, obviously, great music, great tempo, everything is fun, it's got humor, it's got the whole thing.
Good catering.
People have said it's like a cross between visiting the Dalai Lama, attending a Cirque du Soleil show, and maybe a quick hop by a local brothel. It's somewhere in between those things. You learn a lot, you are titillated and entertained. Right. The titillation was the Dalai Lama part, of course.
It's hot.
But you go, because of the reputation that you have, do you have any concerns before releasing a live record does this capture us? Is this capturing us as the way people know us?
No. I don't think we have very many concerns at all.
No,
at
we
this
don't.
point in our career.
We're like, hey, it sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay,
let's do it.
Right.
I think the main thing is that you get a bit of a flavor for, between song banter that we do and the humor, and if the performances are good and we're singing in tune, etc., right. We got ourselves a good live album.
We've gotten really good at not second guessing ourselves.
Right.
At this point, we're very confident in what we do as performers, as writers, and I think we're just in a really good spot where we're just kind of rolling.
Yeah.
I'm totally looking forward to this summer tour. This record, ROCKS RED ROCKS, is a document of last summer, but we're going out this summer with OMD and Howard Jones. It's going to be a total blast.
It's a match made in Boom 97.3 heaven.
Yes, it is.
It really is.
Somewhere programming's ears just wait, what? You said, Ed, several times that this is the happiest that you've ever been. What makes it that way, and was that to mean that years ago you were miserable, or is this just a better place?
Absolutely not. But years ago, we were always chasing something. Whether you're chasing success or accolades or feeling the pressure that the success we had brought, and I think the last couple years we've just really felt quite gratified that we're doing this, that we get to do this still. And I said to Ty very recently, like, what possible award or achievement could we be shooting for right now that we haven't already had.
Right.
So let's just enjoy our amazing career.
Yeah.
And all we got to do is be good.
Yeah.
Like, just go out, do good shows, which we're very capable of doing, make good records, you know.
James Beard Award right, for the best cookbook. I mean, we haven't had one of those. So, you know, we're shooting for it. We're aiming
good.
for it.
You should always have something. Yeah.
And that's, I want to stress, that's not like, you know, I don't think we're capable of achieving whatever great things or having another hit or, you know, having some amazing things happen. But I think we're at a place where we don't need that. You know, the most gratifying thing for me is walking out onto a stage. There's a bunch of people there. They have a good time. We do a great show for them. I think, you know, it's about a career.
What a great spot to be in too. Hey, when none of the other stuff matters, and now you just get to do what you love and can really sit back and enjoy it.
Yeah, and appreciate it, like Ed said as well. I think, you know, to quote Joni Mitchell, when you're stroking the star maker machinery and you're just so busy. You look at Justin Bieber, who's in town, you know, right now. He is having a hard time going out in public and things like that. That's when it becomes a little less enjoyable, when you can't find the time to relax or, you know, have downtime. Our families are older now too, so our kids are a little more grown. That's a little easier for us to deal with. You know, when we had young kids and we were going away for, you know, 10 months out of 12, it was tough. But we're very fortunate to have very supportive families and supportive fans, and we have the right management and an agent, and we have the right people working for us, and so we're in a good spot.
And not that we've ever been in the position of Bieber or somebody like that crazy famous, but also he's never been in the position of having been doing this for 28 years.
Exactly.
Like
or being alive for 28 years. He doesn't have the pleasure.
It's lived.
But that's, you know, it's an important thing.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a big distinction between what our careers are like. You know, we sat in after the Junos one year, we sat in the airport with Justin Bieber in St. John's, Newfoundland.
Yeah.
And, you know, he asked, so how long have you guys been doing this? And I said, at that time, I was like, we've been doing this for 23 years, Justin. You've been doing this for 23 minutes.
Remember what he said to us? I like you guys. You're down to earth.
Yeah.
Classic. Canadian telling another Canadian we're down to earth.
You're down to earth.
Wow,
Right.
great. Awesome.
Now to the live album. I asked this before. Cameras started rolling. They're rolling now. I need to know, Tyler, is it, and you need to give me the answer that I want on this. Is it as cool as it looks counting in the band for the first song before a live show?
I like it because that's the only time I'm important on the whole record. I mean, yeah. So I'll take my 9 seconds to count 1, 2, 3, 4. That's my voice, and that's my sticks, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
There is something about that tick, 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 or even just the pound, pound, pound that you.
For me, so much anticipation. People ask me, "Do you get nervous before a show?" I say, I don't get nervous, but I do suffer from like, let's do this. I'm anticipation. I get excited.
Right.
So when you're actually sitting down in that chair and clicking the sticks, you know what's really happening.
Right.
But I love that moment. Every night I love that moment when we come out on stage, we all make eye contact, we all look to Ty. It's like it's about to happen.
Yeah.
You know, and everyone's out there freaking out.
Yeah.
It's like it's a moment where we all connect and it's like, okay, you ready? You ready?
Yeah.
You ready? You ready?
I like it
and
when
we mess with each other a little bit too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
Yeah.
Don't start. I'm not ready.
Not yet. One sec.
Sometimes I'll trigger a sample by accident or something, and it'll make him laugh so hard that he can't start the song. That's what I like.
Yeah.
It's usually like, or I make some silly error or face, and it cracks him up so much he can't go on. That's what I live for.
What I like about our band too is we make mistakes all the time. We make mistakes. Somebody makes a mistake in every song, and we don't care.
Yeah.
Like there are far too many performers that a mistake will throw them for 2 or 3 songs. They're just beating themselves up about, I can't believe I screwed up that verse.
Right.
I know as a fan of music, as a fan of live performance, when somebody screws up, it humanizes them.
Yeah.
It's a fun moment.
Yeah.
So you got to put yourself into those shoes and realize when you goof up or you mess up the words or you play a wrong chord, nobody in the audience cares.
Yeah.
They don't
That's
care.
it. That's
and
it.
in fact, a huge portion of the audience likes it even more.
Yes.
When you screw up.
Yeah.
And every time we do a show where things we thought that maybe things went off the rails, or we didn't have anything to necessarily talk about, so we just start talking about inane things, cutlery, what we ate that day, shirts.
And we walk off stage and we're like, oh
that
my
was
God.
terrible.
And someone will say, I've seen 35 shows. That was the best show I've ever seen. So we just realized we don't know anything.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah. And that's that hardest part, right? Because you are your own worst critic, and nothing. And when you're on display, you know. But again, wonderful to get to that point in your career and into your lives where that stuff just doesn't matter anymore. And if I can add to that, half the time they don't even know. More times than not, fans don't even know that a mistake was made.
Yeah,
Everyone cares.
I think that's true. There's a huge portion that doesn't notice the mistake, but I really feel that there's a large contingent that enjoys the mistake.
Yes. Yeah.
So as a performer, you have to get your head out of your ass
Yeah.
and realize that people are just there to have a good time. They don't care that you screwed up the words.
Yeah.
The show must go on. Stu, you know that from being in radio and TV for all these years.
Yeah.
If you stop and admit your mistake, then it stands up. But if you just sort of, you make a segue out of it, whatever. People love that.
Exactly. And you're right. It humanizes you, and it just makes everything better. I think that connection gets tighter too.
Yeah.
To the selections on the album.
Sorry. Just to comment further on that, we have a rule in the band. If someone makes a mistake, nobody looks at them. Not right away, because then it's like flub. Nobody does that. It's like flub, wait, couple bars, and then it's a little nod and smile.
Yeah.
That's way better.
Yeah, it's great.
Fucked up.
Yeah. It's always a great moment when you get the look afterwards.
Jim's the king of that, eh?
I think we got that from Sarah's band. From Sarah McLaughlin's band.
Yeah.
They taught us that early on. Nobody look at the mistake, but later, the nod.
Good one. Nice one.
You have a couple of moments on this album that I want to talk about. First of all, with Colin Hay, Blaze from Violent Femmes, you guys do Who Can It Be Now? How did that come to be? Whose idea was that? And holy shit, does that ever sound good, too. What a great version.
Yeah. I think we wanted to do something with, one of the opening acts. We've done this last summer on Earth Tour, a few summers in a row now, and we've always had somebody come. We had John Popper from Blues Traveler come out and play harmonica with us. We had Ben Folds come out with us. So, Colin, it was either going to be that or Land Down Under. And Colin's done such a different version of Land Down Under, which is a really cool kind of more ballady version. Mm-hmm. And we thought, okay, we got to rock Who Can It Be Now? And there's a sax player in the Violent Femmes.
Yeah,
and so when we were rehorsing it the whole time, it was just like smiling our heads because that song is in our DNA. It's part of who we are. Like it's such an influence.
I remember the first time we tried it, and Colin said, "Okay, does anyone need to go over the arrangement?" And we were like, "No, we know it.
We kind of know it." Yeah.
I've heard this song 170,000
As a matter of fact, if you turn the radio on right now, chances are it'll be playing.
Just press scan until you hear Who Can It Be Now? Stay on that station.
That's the one. Yeah, okay, 2, 3, 4.
The first day, I remember Blaze didn't know the solo. Blaze is about 20 years younger than all of us, by the way.
Yeah.
He's the sax player from Violent Femmes. He didn't know the solo. So I started singing it into the microphone. And Colin was harmonizing with me on the solo.
Yeah.
So
and that's how we got it for this.
Not just the feature sax part at the beginning, the solo. Ty sang the sax solo, and Colin harmonized. It was amazing.
Holy crap! This is the stuff I kill to see.
Oh, it's so fun.
And then he ended up picking up the solo from that. Like, I mean,
Yep, absolutely.
He played bits of it, but he did his own thing too. It was great.
Show closes with rock and roll. How long has that been going on?
Oh man, jeez, that was that tour. Before that, we did a Whole Lot of Love.
Got something new planned for this tour.
Got something new planned for this tour.
Just working it up right now.
Yeah. It may or may not involve Zeppelin. But
it definitely involves Tyler at the front of the stage singing, though.
It was so much fun to play that music. Also, like, it's such heavy rock and rhythm section. When Ed gets on the drums on that song, first of all, my drum tech loses his mind because he dents the living crap out of all my head. He's like, there's not a bigger smile on anyone's face than on his.
I can't imagine.
When he's
I don't
playing
even play,
drums.
and I want to try that.
So that's such a fun part of the show. I love getting out from behind the kid and screaming and yelling, jumping. Kevin actually has been putting together a set list, and he put that in the list. He said, okay, this song, screaming, yelling, jumping, Tyler faints. It's as part of the list. Everyone goes, oh, yeah.
Got
normal.
it.
Yeah. We know what he's
That's
talking
what's going to
about.
happen there.
Now, BNL Rocks Red Rocks comes out tomorrow, and are you still touring, or are you guys on a break? And I know there's something happening this summer.
Yeah, we're rehearsing right now. We head out on the road early June. I think we've got about 37 dates in America.
Wow.
Coming back to Canada to play the Turf Festival in September.
Okay.
That's right after we get back from the UK, so we're going back to the UK as well for a couple of weeks.
I keep forgetting about that.
Where's the Turf Festival? Where's that?
Fort York.
Oh, okay. All right.
Which is, of course, at the corner of Bathurst and Lakeshore in Toronto. The former shore of Lake Ontario, where the Toronto Garrison was stationed in 1860.
Are we likely to see a reenactment of any kind during the show?
Yes,
but not real bayonets. Bananas on the end.
But not a real bayonet. That's cruel.
That's correct.
Well, we talk about that song, which is going to be featured on Behind the Vinyl at boom973.com. I asked this question, and you don't have to answer it, or you can lie, whatever. But I remember reading Rod Stewart's biography, talked about how a song that you record or a song that you write can sometimes be the toilet seat around your neck. I think it was Jeff Beck that told him that. That was the one that, it was a hit, and your fans love it. Everybody thinks it's great, and yet you think, if I got to play this one more time, I'm going to lose my mind.
Here's the thing. If I had $1 million, we've played, I think, at every live show we've ever done, except for we played a German fashion show one time, and we didn't play it because we figured they wouldn't know what the hell we were talking about anyway because they were German. Yeah. So we didn't play the song.
Even if we changed it to like 1 million Deutschmarks, they still
wouldn't get it.
Yeah. We play that song every single night. Okay. And there are lots of other songs that have been big hits that we rotate, we get sick of, we take them out of the set for a while. If I Had $1 Million is a special moment. And I don't know how, but I've never gotten sick of that song.
That's amazing. And you do the math, that's performed a lot.
Thousands of times.
Yeah.
My philosophy on the song is it almost doesn't even belong to us anymore.
Right. It's for the audience.
It's their song because they sing every last word. Yeah. And it's amazing the smiles and dancing and participation that happens as soon as the first notes of that song are played. So
what an unbelievable feeling that must be. Those are great words to actually say that song doesn't belong to us anymore. It belongs to them. As a songwriter, as a band, what an amazing feeling that must be.
It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a chance for us to celebrate the live show with the audience.
Yeah.
You know, as much as the whole night we're performing for them, at the end we're performing with them.
Yeah.
And they sing along with If I Had $1 Million, and it's a special moment.
Cool. There are so few bands, I think, that, are so tightly woven into the fabric of not only Canadian music, but this culture and so on. And you guys are certainly one of them. And it's always a pleasure to talk to you. And the highlight for me, whenever we have a conversation, is it feels like I've grown up there with you. It feels like I've been following with you when you started, and and it's such a great.
And you have been.
Yeah, but it's kind of like brothers coming back together and have a quick talk, and okay, we'll see you next year.
Yeah, for sure.
But the best of luck to you, and thank you. And BNL Rocks Red Rocks again available tomorrow.
Thank you, Stu.
Thank you, guys.
Great to see you, Stu.